Hello and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Adventures. My name is Flying Magpies and I'm here starting things off at the shopping district. As you can see from the last episode, I've started to make quite a bit of progress on here, decorating this wall with all the leaves, the glass and the wood. This took me a really long time, mainly because I kept making a lot of mistakes and having to redo. I've also put in these things on the side with quite a lot of work, as well as that thing there. So this is the basic template that I'm going to be using on this side as well, but I don't think I'll be doing that to start with. What I will be doing is connecting my base, which has a nether portal, to the shopping district, which I've now connected up with a nether portal. Now, if I go through here, I don't think it's quite built up the nether portal on the nether side. No, this is my home base, so I'm going to have to figure out exactly where the nether portal for the shopping district should go and connect them up with a nice nether tunnel. Alright, I've now built this extremely safe passage across the lava, and I think this is the right place for the nether portal to go. So let's have a look, and yes, it's exactly right. Now I'm not going to go through that path again because it's really dangerous. I'm going to start building that up and start coming up with a design and start building it. And I'm back here in my creative testing world, try and figure out exactly how I would like my nether tunnel to go. I've put in this light blue terracotta on the bottom, which I think I'll keep, and the sandstone sandstone stairs on the bottom and the top here. Of course I'm going to have a roof, but I've still yet to decide exactly how the walls are going to go. It's quite a little bit of a problem because I can't figure out what kind of things would contrast quite nicely as well. After a couple of hours of looking at this and trying to change it a few blocks, changing this to green terracotta, changing the walls, changing the staircases, I've decided I think I'm going to abandon this tunnel design and go for an entirely different one. So I'll keep working on this and come back when I think I've got a better one. Alright, after a couple more hours of designing and building and designing again, I've come up with this design. It uses mostly spruce and stone things, as well as some netherrack, which you would normally find in the nether anyway. So I think I'm going to start building this in the realm. Oh yeah, and of course it uses glowstone as well. So I'm going to start building in this realm, and it's going to take quite a lot of resource gathering and stuff, so I'm going to get started right now. And a bit of an update for you, I've now finished up all the, the nether brick onto the main floor. Of course I'm going to have to remove some to put in that little pattern that I had, but I'm going to start it's now time to put in these things, and I'm trying to make sure that this block here, the corner block, is where the spruce logs go, just like in the original design in the creative world. So hopefully I've managed to get this correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's correct. I'm going to have to look in the picture again to have a look. It is not quite correct, I believe. I'm going to have to stop recording here and check it out fully. I can see where I went wrong now. The portals in the creative versions have a 3-block base and then the 2 walls, so a 5 wide base, whereas this one only has 4, so this one's just slightly off. Okay, after a few more hours work, I've managed to finish off this tunnel. Obviously I haven't put in these patterns all the way down. I'm still trying to decide exactly where I want them. I think the pattern I copied or edited slightly was every second one, so it would be here, here, and here, but that would leave this one open empty, and I really want to have the corner, that little pattern on the corner, so it should end up on this square if I want it to be true. So I'm going to have to think about that. Another thing that I have managed to do is also to make sure that this path goes off in this direction, and it now has access into the the Nether Fortress that I've got here. I'll just kill off these if I can. Oh no, there's a skeleton. And there we go. So yeah, I could kill off I can now access this, and there are plenty of weather skeletons in here to be able to get myself a beacon in the next few days. Okay, now that I've decorated the nether side of this tunnel, it's time for me to decorate this side of the shop's nether portal, and I was thinking of originally just going with a dark oak frame, but I don't think that looks quite nice, so I reckon let's put some leaves down here, and of course on the other side In fact, I might just cover the entire thing with leaves and see what happens. Let's see, some fine leaves there. Oh no, that's not what I want them. But yeah, I'll come back when I think I've done this, when I finish this up. Okay, coming up to the last couple of bits now, just so 1, 2, 3, and then cover this top bit. And now let's have a let's have a look at exactly what it looks like, if I can actually get it right. So that looks reasonably good. I reckon I'm starting to think some fines here might be good. So let's have a look. Good thing I got the exact right number. I wasn't quite sure how many I needed, so I just got 16. Yeah, and I think that looks pretty good, although I am missing a piece of leaf over here. I reckon that looks pretty good, and I have already put in the stone on either side, and yes. So what I do want this to be is I want it to be accessible from both sides, so you can walk in, so you can walk through it, or you can, when you spawn into the nether portal, you can either go to this way of the shops or this way to the shops. It's better than having one end completely blocked up, in my opinion. Having another look at this, I believe it looks just a little bit plain, just too much brown, too much grey. I think it could do with a little bit of greenery, and that's why I put in some spruce leaves. I'm going to see if that works. Maybe just that. I'm not sure if to go with this or with this. I might just put on the sides, because that's the same in all of them, and then continue from there and see if I should put one in front of the log instead as well. Okay, now I've finished up all those leaves, and another thing I did think about is figuring out how to put this pattern in. Now, while it won't go into every second one exactly the way I want it, because I would like that pattern to be right hard against this nether portal up here, I've discovered that if I leave 2 spaces and then put one in, so every third segment, it fits very nicely. So I can have one here, and then I suppose another one in this segment, on the 2 surrounding the portal. That would be quite nice, so I'll get started on that. And there we go. I've finished out this tunnel here, and actually looks pretty nice. Now, one thing I regret now is that I don't have quite enough of these sandstone stairs to finish off this one, though I suppose it can't be helped. I'm just going to have to go back and find some more sand and do that at a later stage. Anyhow, moving on from this nether tunnel, the next thing I've got planned for today is to build a blaze farm. Now, I believe there's 2 blaze spawners in this area over here, and I'm going to have to go check them out and see if they're close enough to possibly convert into a single farm. Although, while I'm at it, I've noted that this path here is also at y=60, and the tunnel that I built is also at y=60, so at some point I probably could connect these two. And there's one of the blaze spawners, so it's around here, and then the other blaze spawn is, I believe, down here. If it's here, I could connect. No, it's down here. So they're possibly a little bit too far away for me to feasibly connect into a single farm. Though, of course, I could just build 2. And there we have it, all the resources I need for this blaze farm. Now, the design is by YouTuber Silent Whisperer. I'll put a link to his channel online in my description. That is, sorry. And let's just get straight into it and building it. And this is a bit of a progress update. We've now followed up this, thanks to TYS205 and myself. We've now hollowed this massive, I think it's a square of stuff, and started work on the, what thingamabob there. And we actually did that early. We both fell down. Yes, the nether entrance is nice. Thank you, Wooded World. I wanted to get up there, TYS. Come on. And don't you hit me. I've got a sword. And there we have it, one completed blaze farm. Now, I haven't finished up the redstone, but for all intents and purposes, this farm is working. And as you can see, the blazes are being pushed into the center. And if I just pop down through this scaffolding, we can see that they all come into this one square. And all I have to do is just hit them with my sword, or any other tool that I choose. However, to truly make it a one-hit kill farm, and therefore a nice XP farm, I need to put in some redstone, namely to push this block across and make sure that these things are just a one-hit kill. So I'll get started on that now. Okay, and there we go. So now I've put in the redstone, so it's quite a simple pulse extender. All it does is just push this little block over here, this block here, so the blazes start taking damage, and then all you have to do is hit them with your sword. Now, the way to use this is to push this pull this lever, so any blazes that do come in don't come through the system, so the full health blazes stay up there. Then you push the button, all the blazes start taking damage, and when they are finished taking damage, when I finish that up, all you have to do is spam them with your sword or any other thing that you choose. It's quite a nice simple farm, and that's done. And then you can let the new ones through, pull the lever again and button again, and that's all you've got to do. Now the blaze farm is just a little bit inconvenient to get to by walking. I had to go up and down a few stairs, so I've started building this in order for me to get there quickly, and of course any of the other people on this realm. As you can see, I've put out this flat bit, which is of course the walkway, and I'm going to continue that until it reaches the tunnel just over there. And there we have it, one nether tunnel. Now it doesn't quite... wait a minute, was the ghast? Anyway, moving on from there, there is one completed nether tunnel there. Hopefully that ghast isn't about... that was a bit odd. Anyway, so yes, it doesn't go all the way. I stopped here mainly because I am out of resources, but I think I'm going to want something different for this bit here, so I might extend this another couple of segments, and it looks like it just fits, and then this bit here, this tunnel leading down to the blaze farm, will be might be a different design. Anyhow, it's time to start working on decorating this little bit. I'm thinking of using pillar quartz blocks and slabs, so making archways all the way through it, ending of course on these walls, so it's a nice flat wall. Then there'll be entrance will be here, a straight ladder up, and then to another path which is perpendicular to this one, so running along here. Now the pattern I'm thinking of going with is just this, something simple, just a little bit of an arch, and that fits quite nicely here, 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 and here, and obviously and here as well. So that, I think I'll go with that, and then when I finish that I'll check back and see what it is. And this little bit here will be the the ladder to the next level, to the walkway out. Okay, I've now finished up these things. Now I'm not quite satisfied with this room, because for one thing there's this giant hole up here where there's no quartz blocks, and for another these things just look a little bit too plain. What I am thinking is putting some lava in, and putting in a couple of more layers of these, so there would be a layer of glass, then behind the glass would be falling lava, so it looks a little bit more of a decoration, like a waterfall but with lava. Okay, having done that, I'm not as confident it's going to look as well, mainly because of this top bit where I need the archway to have the stairs, but then I've got a bit uncovered there. It might look quite well over here, where there's only the one thing, and then I'll have a massive long one coming down here, so that might work quite nicely. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. I had the idea of putting the lava on in here, but the problem is that if I put the lava here, then there's a possibility that I could burn myself going through this little passage, and if I put it one block back from the walkway, it ends up on this block, which means it would be visible from here, from the front, which is not quite what I want. So it looks like it's going to be dragged back to the drawing board on this one. I think I might leave this for now, come back to it later. One thing I did have the idea of was putting some green glazed terracotta in with a circular pattern, so that would go quite nicely. I think that would go quite nicely in here, but I'm going to have to go gather those resources and put that to the test at a later stage. Anyway, one thing that I have meant doing, other than collecting a whole stack of levels, is I've moved a horse into the nether, like so, just over here, so that enables me to start running around quite fast in the nether without actually using any of my energy, so that's going to be quite a boon for the future. Obviously I have to be a little bit careful where I'm going to tie him up in the future, because I don't want him to get caught on fire here nor get blasted by a ghast in the future, so hopefully over there is going to be quite nice. Now the last thing I've got planned for today is to actually start getting myself a full set of enchanted diamond gear. Now you may have noticed that through this video my levels have been going constantly up, and that's because as I've been working through here, I've been slowly killing off these blaze and getting myself some XP, so I'm going to be going with the strategy of using a whole stack of books and hoping that I get some good enchantments on those, and then transferring those over by anvil onto my armor. So hopefully that works, and I'll see you when I've got a full stack of diamond armor. And after a little bit of enchantment, these are the things I've managed to get. I've got all these books, which I'll just hover over so we can have a look and just go through them. And of course I also managed to enchant some boots with Blast 4, Feather Falling 4 and Thorns 2, so that's quite a nice one. At some point I hope to get another feather falling onto that, possibly with this one. Although maybe not, that's got Infinity, that's going to be a good one. I might put on with this one, these two together if I can at some point. Anyway, what I also managed to get was this book, which ironically also has Feather Falling. However, I'm going to get that one onto here, because that would mean 2 Efficiency 4s are going to combine, and the Unbreaking 3 will also go on there, and that will make it a really, really good pick. Now, one thing I did manage to get a little bit annoyed about was that I had kept running out of levels, so I had to keep going back to the Blaze Farm and fill up on levels, then come back to here, which is the only enchanting table I have. So what I might do now is go and put an enchanting table into the Blaze Farm. And there we have it, one fully kitted out enchanting room. It's going to be a free service, of course, for anyone who wants to use the Blaze Farm, and so I should really leave some lapis and some books in here, although that would mean that anyone who wants to doesn't have to will be using my lapis and not anyone their own. Ah well. Another thing I had the idea is putting in a potions room. Well, that's going to require a lot more resources. All the spiders, eyes, and sugar, and all that things to make potions, because all the blaze rods are going to be here. I very, very nearly forgot. There's no point putting enchantments here if there's no anvil to enchant with. So there we go. Which orientation? I reckon this way. Now that looks silly. I'm going to put it the other way. Let's mine that pretty fast, and then put that on, and there we go. So it's an enchanting table with the anvil, so you can start enchanting things if you need to. And I might finish off this episode with explaining exactly how this thing works. So all the blazes are going to get pushed down, just like that one. They're getting pushed down by the pistons into this bit. Then this lever pushes something across, so it prevents any more blazes coming down into this chamber. So always do this one first, make sure it's in the down thing. Then when you press this button, a block comes across and starts damaging the blazes all the way down, and we'll just wait for them. Coming up now. So that retracts, and then all I have to do is hit them with anything, any tool I should say, and boom, I get some experience. Now, of course, it's a nice one-hit kill, meaning that you can use any tool, assuming it has mending on it, and it'll start repairing those things. As you can see, the blazes are starting to collect up there, so letting them down again, let those come through, leave it down again, and button, and the process repeats. So you just have to be standing in about these two, what do you call them, these levels here, and it will nicely collect up. And all the blaze rods will go into here. There's someone else's stuff in there, and I just have to hit them again, and there we go. So that's the inner workings of the farm. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Minecraft Adventures. If you have, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to keep watching out for the other ones. Goodbye.